Hello again, chaps and chapettes. How are we all doing? It is lovely to see you all again. As always, before we get into tonight's story, my friends, I want to have a very brief conversation with you about what happened earlier this morning. Now, this is going to apply to most of my UK-based subscribers, of course, but I think it was around about 7 o'clock this morning. In this country, there was a huge internet outage. A whole host of websites, apps just simply stopped working. Xbox Live wasn't working. I think a whole host of news outlets weren't working. Loads of other websites. And more importantly, my banking app and my banking website wasn't working. I couldn't access my money online. I couldn't get into my accounts online. Now, it's been said it had something to do with some kind of Amazon cloud storage server thing that made all these websites go dark. I'm a little bit dubious when it comes to this, my friends. Over the last, say, about 10-15 years or so, I have become a lot more conspiratorial. On occasions, I can spend an evening sat in a darkened room with a tinfoil hat on my head, on the just-in-case basis. I think it's all too convenient, particularly with Labour wanting to roll out these digital IDs, when things go dark and some kind of cyber attack is touted online, which I personally think is a very viable point to make. You see, when you cut off people's ability to get into their own money, cut off the service to their accounts as such, and then they roll out these digital IDs as a kind of salvation, a whole banking world goes dark through a potential cyber attack from Russia or China, for example. The digital IDs will come and save the day. You can access your money via a digital ID. Call me crazy, all you want, but that's how I feel. What makes me so dubious about the governments in this world? Well, COVID is one of the main culprits, and a whole slew of skeletons in the closet that have been brought to the surface during the last 10 or 15 years. Is it any wonder I look at things with such scrutiny? Maybe it was something to do with Amazon, but I can't just help thinking that there's something more sinister underneath the truth. Can you blame me? In any case, my friends, tonight, have you heard the latest? Well, the latest, of course, according to Lee Anderson, Reform UK's sitting MP in this country. It would appear, according to Mr. Anderson, that the poisonous, squished little midget down in London, namely, of course, being Sadiq Khan, has been turning a blind eye to Pakistani R-word gangs in his area. I know. I can hear the eye rolls through my phone, believe me. Sadiq Khan has been accused of turning a blind eye to grooming gangs in the capital in the face of credible evidence of horror assaults. A new investigation has highlighted the horrifying cases of young girls being R-worded in hotels by groups of men. Sounds very, very familiar, doesn't it, my friends? Up and down the country for the last, 20, 30, possibly 40 years. Reform UK MP Lee Anderson has slammed the London mayor, accusing him of ignoring the gangs in the city. He said there is real credible evidence that grooming gangs exist in London, and for the mayor to have potentially turned a blind eye is utterly shameful, GB News reported. You see, the thing is, guys, as Sadiq Khan likes to remind us consistently, that he is a practicing Muslim. And among Islam and among Muslims themselves, it's all very tribal. That's why you get court cases of potential R-word gang members going to court and their family is screaming out when they get sentenced. Menial sentences, by the way. Families and children are screaming out, "Daddy, don't leave us, we love you," and then start spitting and abusing the people who have been abused outside these courts. All very tribal, all very within each other in more ways than one. And I can't see Sadiq Khan bucking that trend. If he did indeed know about these R-word gangs in his constituencies or in his area of London, is it any surprise at all that he just turned a blind eye, put on a blindfold and stuck his fingers in his ears? No. The London Mayor previously claimed there were no reports and no indication of grooming gangs. Met Police Commissioner Sir Mark Rowley also said the force has not seen them in the past, but this week admitted there are several live investigations in the London Assembly. Not seen any, yet there's live investigations. Porky pies are afoot, my friends. My London reported that the Met Police had a steady flow of cases and a very significant number of historic case reviews that will cost it millions to investigate. Tough shit. Make some cuts in public spending. I mean, the amount of money that governments, past and present, waste on trivial nonsense is mind-boggling. Cut them and put the money towards these serious cases. A social worker said a girl was coerced to go to a hotel where she was given drugs and alcohol and forced to carry out sexual acts on men. A 17-year-old girl was given alcohol before being R-worded by several men in a different report, according to the Express. A spokesman for Sadiq Khan said the mayor has always been clear that the safety of Londoners is his top priority, and nowhere is this truer than in safeguarding children. My friend, there are no fucking Londoners. They're all in Clacton-on-Sea or various areas of Essex. Why? To get away from Sadiq Khan's multicultural shit-tip utopia with Bengali road signs everywhere and a slew of languages infesting your field of hearing. Is it any wonder? Actual Londoners, jellied eels, pint of shandy, pie and mash and that weird green shit that they eat with it, want to leave London and go elsewhere. No. The safety of Londoners, particularly children. Yeah. No type of Londoners they're referring to there, my friends. One without a certain skin complexion, of course. Sadiq is committed to doing all he can to protect children in London from organised criminals and sexual exploitation and bring perpetrators to justice. Bollocks. Now I'm not going to go on, my friends. It's all pretty obvious what's going on here. If this indeed does turn out to be true, Sadiq Khan needs to follow the same kinds of consequences that all these Labour councillors and ex-police chiefs over the last 20-odd years should face when is there actually going to be an investigation into these R-word gangs? I'm not too sure. There probably won't, because many people will be put into a shallow grave, put it that way, in regards to facing justice, that is, of course. Sadiq Khan should be no different. Him and his like-minded bum chums, his R-word gangs and his potential terrorists, etc., should be expelled from the country and never be allowed to return. This makes me sick to my stomach when I read stuff like this, my friends, how people just simply ignore what's right in front of their fucking faces, particularly when it involves children. Sick to my stomach. It gives me indigestion. Should I end the video here? Should I end the video there? Yes, I think I should, because I'm fucking starting to slur my words. I am absolutely bollocks, my friends. It's been a hard weekend. I'm going to love you and leave you. Carpe diem. Let me know what you think in the comments. And I'll see you in a bit. Cheers.